Amidst the hopeful whispers of interest rate drops from the central bank, year after year, month after month, another video pops up, dancing amidst the data, riding the roller coaster of prices. The April real estate data for the Greater Vancouver Area arrives right on cue, but maybe not quite as you'd hoped. Well, as the great literary man Mark Tine once said, what's meant to be will be, and what's not meant to be will also find its way. So, buckle up and let's see what the universe has in store for us, folks. Even though the average price chart doesn't hold much water when it comes to your specific buying or selling needs, we still gotta take a look. Why? Because the ups and downs of prices can still be pretty damn exciting for many folks, giving those who bought before 2021 another chance to pat themselves on the back for their epic decision-making skills. Why? You ask. Well, looking at this data, getting the prices back to pre-2021 levels is no easy feat. Zooming out, this chart still packs a punch in terms of guidance. At the very least, it shows that for those in it for the long haul, aside from the shelter from the storm value, houses provide the potential for growth in property value is pretty astounding. Take a good look. The blue enchantress is the detached house. The red maple leaf is the townhouse, and the green energy-efficient apartment building stands tall. Alright, folks, let's kick off by admiring the magical cure-all chart. Unemployment rate, inflation rate, and interest rate, the triple threat waving hello to you. But here is the funky part. Both the unemployment rate and the inflation rate are shooting up together. According to the experts, this ailment ain't an easy fix. Usually, lowering the interest rate can tackle rising unemployment, while hiking it can deal with inflation. But this time, they are both going up. So, do we lower it or lower it? Maybe going with the flow of public opinion is the way to go. That's why you gotta boldly speak up in my comments section for your voice to be heard. Come on, do it now. How tricky is this dilemma? The central bank's top brass have been scratching their heads for nearly a year now, still can't decide whether to go up or down. How tangled can it get, huh? But remember, no decision is still a decision. Procrastination becomes your decision. How long will this dragging game continue? Until the US elections? Or maybe after the Canadian elections? Seems like a part of their grand plan. I bet many folks are fed up. One moment is up, and then it's down, and in the end is neither up nor down, leaving you to guess. If you had to pick one, and if you were the head of the central bank, what would you prioritize? Unemployment rate or inflation rate? How would you make that call? Which one is more important to you? What's your favorite? If you are tired of playing the guessing game every month, then buckle up for a wild ride back to the 90s. Picture this. for a whole decade almost, from 1990 to 2000 years, interest rates were changing like they were on a roller coaster, a real roller coaster, up to 6 times a month. That's practically a rate change almost every 4 days. For example, let's zoom into July to November 1992. 5 months only, for example. Warning, if you have heart disease, please don't continue. To be honestly, I don't know how people survived through 1990s if they had heart disease. So on July 12th, 1992, the rate starts at 6.25%. Fast forward about 2 months, and it's like a weekly rate dance marathon, 5.88 on July 27th, 5.38 on August 4th, 5.25 on August 10th, 5.13 on August 23rd, down to a cool 5% on September 2nd. Then 4.88 on September 9th. It's like they are playing limbo with interest rates. And finally, by September 14th, it's a lovely 3.25%. Feeling very good, right? It's like a discount spree, cutting rates in half over 2 months. You're probably cheering, "Long live the central bank!" Hold on to your tears because here comes the reverse gear. After a few hacks, by September 29th, in just 2 weeks, rates shoot up to 9%. Feeling the adrenaline? That's triple in 2 weeks. By October 5th, within a week, it's back down to 7.25%. Now, does it feel like someone had too much vodka? Or maybe the person in charge of writing numbers had a pollen allergy sneeze. Sneeze again. Then blow the number from 6.25 to 3.25. Then a sneeze up to 9%. Oops, wrong. Then change back down to 7.25. But the real kicker is sneeze every 3 or 4 days. And up or down is randomly, depends on what kind of pollen or mood. Maybe you think it's the ant? Not yet. More thrillers coming. Another sneeze blow the rate to 12% on November 1st, and on and on, and again. This roller coaster ride lasted for almost a decade, sneezing up and down all the time, especially in the first 5 years of the 90s. Those sneezes were pretty loud. You can tell from the charts. Aren't you glad for a calmer present? Now, meetings happen once a month, sometimes 2 months only, and the outcome is almost always the same. It's been almost a year since the last sneeze. Talk about allergy medicines working wonders. Hey, I've got pollen allergies too. Can I get some of that miracle medicine? So, do you prefer the thrill of frequent ups and downs or the slow build up to a sneeze and then calmness? What's your favorite? Right now, I really want to know how people survived the 1990s market, especially the first 5 years, especially for those who had a heart disease. After that thrilling ride, Let's come back to 2024, this year, April, and take a look at the dull and uneventful total sales figures for April in the Greater Vancouver Area, 2024, this year. As expected, they've gone up. But guess what? They've actually hit the average level of the past 4 years. Can you believe it? And it's still pushing hard to reach last year's peak. Right now, it's like being just a finger's length away. The standout here is the soaring total listing volume, reaching quite a high level. It's not the absolute peak yet, but judging by this trend, in another month or two, it could totally hit the roof. Now, there are a couple of ways to interpret this data. One, maybe the high interest rates have sellers on the edge, forcing them to unload properties. Or could it be that sellers are like fortune tellers, sensing something and staging a mass exodus? Which explanation tickles your fancy? Anyway, what strikes me most is that buyers have more options now, like they're sailing through a sea of listings. But hey, it seems like sellers are all out hitting the shores, doesn't it? Kinda spooky. If you ask me, to borrow a line from the great Mark Tine again, when in doubt, fish out the weirdness. Where is the weirdness in all this? Well, with a new president in office, all the weird stuff's coming to light. Because a 4-year term ain't a joke, it's real business. And the temporary fixes won't last 4 years for sure. Let's take a look at the overall pressure chart again, and you might get a better feel for it. The total pressure chart has taken a bit of nosedive, but still about 20, turning downward in a seller's market situation. How did this happen? Wasn't there a significant increase in total sales volume? Wasn't everything looking rosy? How come the pressure has decreased instead? Let me brag for a moment. This is why I always bring out the pressure chart to analyze. The pressure chart reflects the overall situation more comprehensively and objectively. Other data is like seeing just one foot or one leg of an iceberg, but the pressure chart is like an X-ray showing you through the whole iceberg. The entire iceberg is right in front of you. Because of this formula, pressure equals sales divided by listings. Specifically, it's because the volume and speed of listings on the market are greater than the volume and speed of sales. What does that mean if you are buying or selling? Well, all I dare to say is that it indicates an increase in buyer choices. As for whether the market will change, prices will drop, sale volume will decrease, or will return to a buyer's market, I can't say for sure. It all depends on whether the next sneeze comes and how strong that sneeze will be. Let's take a look at our standalone houses. The sales of all kinds of big and small villas are rising steadily without any surprise, just going up and up straight ahead. From the looks of it, the sales have reached an average level. For sellers, things are looking good, and for buyers, Congratulations on your new house. Anyway, it seems like the situation is all good, especially for sellers who must seize this opportunity because my crystal ball tells me this year there might be only one interest rate drop, or maybe a drop followed by a rise, then another drop, and then another rise. My gut feeling tells me that the similar interest rate dancing like the early 90s could very well make a comeback. Keeping the interest rates stagnant isn't a solution. Just talking without action will eventually backfire. So they may think, why not shake things up a bit and get the heart pumping? So, here's the dealio, folks. The pressure gauge on standalone houses this month not only didn't hit the 20 mark, but took a nosedive. What's the deal with that? You ask. My take? Sales might be up, but listings are skyrocketing faster than a rock ship. So, from sellers, maybe they're thinking like this. Go ahead, buy to your heart's content. We've got an infinite supply, baby. All you can eat, that's what we have. All you can buy. It looks like both buyers and sellers are pretty pleased, getting what they need. Now, who's winning? Actually, I don't measure it like that. My yardstick's simple. If you are happy, that's all that matters. After all, nobody knows what the future really is. If you still believe in experts predicting interest rates, well, hats off to you. My friend, you are a true believer. I must click a like button for you. Listen up, folks. When it comes to standalone houses, if your plan is to hold on to them long term, there's really no need to hesitate. Just do it. Like I always say, with inflation running, everything is going up in price. Why not houses? Looking back at the data, dips are just temporary blips. Bounce backs are higher and faster. Just make sure your long term is 5+. Oh, and by the way, I'm talking specifically standalone houses only, not townhouse or apartments. Plus, we are in the midst of a transition from a buyer's to a seller's market. For certain types of houses, it's still prime time to buy. What are you waiting for? As long as you can stomach those high interest rates. You must be wondering, who can handle it? Well, those cash buyers, of course. No loans, no interest, no pressure, that's it. Check out the sales figures for apartments. It's no surprise at all. Keep moving forward and forward again, charging towards historic highs that seem to have no end in sight. Apartments are definitely the future of the market. The transaction volume is bound to keep growing because apartments are becoming the mainstay of the market. That's the future of living, folks. Of course, that's also why standalone houses are getting pricier and pricier. It's all about supply and demand, right? Because apartments pretty much have their roots in standalone houses. You got to tear down those standalone houses to build apartments. And as for tearing down farms and industrial land to build apartments, well, that's not the major thing, is it? Let's take a look at the pressure chart of apartments. It's slightly, very tiny on the rise. If you don't whip out a magnifier, you'd hardly notice the increase. You might even think it's going down. But hey, we are still dancing in the seller's market. Is this what they call a storm in a teacup, or is it the blissful annoyance? especially when compared to standalone houses. Apartment buyers and sellers, let's cheer each other on. The world is yours, and so is the future. There's just one thing that isn't yours. Can you guess what it is? Alright, hold up and pay attention, folks. The pressure gauge for apartments might be just nudging up a tad bit, but it's the only one among the three categories that's on the rise. So, apartments totally deserve the title of transaction volume champ. The heavy weight of deals. Now, pay close attention, folks. The pressure in this apartment has been hovering around 26 for the past 3 months. You might call it a seller's market, but it's not exactly unfair, more like a lukewarm situation. You know, the kind where you've got comparisons to make, like comparing the pressure data between standalone houses and townhouses, then you'll see what's hot and what's not. It's all about that comparison, folks. Here we go. Our superstar townhouse is here. Sales are booming, hitting last year's record high. Out of the 3 varieties, only this one have reached last year's peak. Not only reached, actually, it's over, actually. From 500 to 580. That's why I call it a superstar all the time. So, superstar, what's the next target? Could it be aiming for the peak of 2022? Well, that goal doesn't seem too far off, right? One sneeze or 2 will make it, maybe. But if we actually reach those levels in the next month or 2, the market might get so hot that even sellers would be too scared to sell, But then again, probably not. 'Cause let's face it, the interest rates now are not something everyone can handle. They are nothing like those of 2022. Let's go. Let's get the central bank to finally let out that year-long surprise sneeze. Come on. Let's hope not all my predictions come true. Let's take a look at the pressure chart for celebrity row houses. It's gone head over heels downward. Sellers, my friends, are putting in too much effort, and it's causing the pressure chart to do a total 180 degree. We need some orderly competition here, folks. Can we line up for the listing? Sell off one batch and then another? Of course not. Why? Because that's unfair to the buyers, turning it into a seller's market forever. If we keep squeezing the buyers, they will get fed up and start buying detached houses instead. Who's going to buy a row house then? But maybe I'm overthinking it. Row houses are usually a seller's market most of the time anyway. Could you give me some feedback on how to make this more fair? Pay special attention. Even though the pressure on row houses has dropped, it's still way above the balance point of 20, not just a bit over 20 like apartments 26. It's 31. If I likened this situation to a skinny camel being bigger than a horse, would that be fitting? Alright, let's sum it up. All these charts, they are basically post-even Zhuge Liang charts. Nobody can predict the future. At most, we analyze historical data and make educated guesses about what's to come. And you know what? The future isn't far off. It's just around the corner, coming next month. The mystery of the future lies in its unpredictability. It's like 1,000 faces, wild and unpredictable. Once something's confirmed, it's not the future anymore. The future lives in our imagination and predictions only. And that's its charm. You can imagine and predict as you want. But guess what? I'm not the one imagine and predict as I want. I believe science more than imagination or prediction. I believe data. So we've wrapped up all our charts. But hey, where's the benchmark price chart? Oh, right, you are unfair. Be patient. Let me explain. You could totally be the class rep. I didn't include it because officially there are 3 reasons. First, I still don't get how they calculated that chart. The specifics and algorithms are like a mystery to me, unclear, and not much help in actual trading guidance for me. For long-term trends, that 40-year average price chart is more than enough. Official explanations aside, the real reason is, well, I will be honest, I'm just lazy. My legs and views aren't picking up, so my motivation's lacking. I need you to cheer me up. Share it to your friends. Share it on your social media. Leave comments. Oh, don't forget to like and subscribe. Oh, almost forgot to quote the great Mark Tine. Living in the future is anxiety. Living in the past is melancholy. Living in the present is being yourself. Let's be ourselves and not slaves to the future or the past.